A moon that should be dead by every rule we know is on fire. 400 volcanoes, not sleeping, not extinct, erupting right now in this instant. As you watch this is Io, smaller than our own moon, buried in permanent winter far from the sun, and yet burning hotter than anywhere else in the solar system. Voyager 1 caught it by accident in 1979 during a routine flyby. Nobody expected to make history. A single grainy photograph. A plume rising 300 kilometers into the black. Scientists stared at that image and felt something close to fear, because nothing out here this far from any star should be able to do this. The sun is 5 times farther away than it is from Earth. Too weak, too distant, too cold to explain even a fraction of what they were seeing. So where does a frozen little moon, smaller than a planet, find the raw power to erupt hundreds of volcanoes at once? The answer isn't fire from within. It's something far stranger, a war fought in complete silence, 400 million kilometers from where you're sitting right now. A war of gravity, and Io is the battlefield. We like to think of stillness as safety, solid ground beneath our feet, a world that holds its shape and asks nothing of us. Io has none of that comfort. Its entire surface rises and falls by up to 100 meters every single orbit, like a lung that never stops working. Not water, not tide, solid rock. If Earth's crust moved like that even once, every city on the planet would be rubble within days. And yet Io survives it over and over. Endlessly torn apart, endlessly rebuilding itself, locked in a cycle of destruction it can never escape. It forces an uncomfortable question on anyone paying attention. Is this what happens to a world that gets too close to something far more powerful than itself? Because that is exactly Io's story, written into every crack on its surface. Not a planet destroyed by fire from outside. A moon condemned quietly by gravity from within its own family. And the sentence was handed down the moment it was born in Jupiter's shadow, billions of years ago. Imagine squeezing a rubber ball over and over as fast as your hands allow. Within seconds, it grows warm against your palm. Now imagine that ball is an entire world and the hand squeezing it never gets tired. That is Io's curse. Jupiter's gravity is so immense it physically stretches the moon into an egg shape, then releases it, then pulls again forever. But Jupiter isn't acting alone in this. 2 other moons, Europa and Ganymede, tug on Io from the opposite direction at the exact same time. Every time Io completes one orbit, Europa completes exactly 2, and Ganymede completes exactly 4. A perfect, merciless clockwork that never drifts. Astronomers call this orbital resonance, and it means Io can never settle into a calm, circular, restful path around its planet. It is permanently trapped in a stretched, unstable orbit, cycling through agony roughly once every 2 days. That stretching becomes friction, deep inside the rock where no light has ever reached. Friction becomes heat, building with nowhere to escape, and heat becomes hundreds of volcanoes, erupting simply because the moon has nowhere left to hide the energy. For decades, scientists assumed Io must be hiding a global ocean of molten rock beneath its crust, quietly feeding every volcano from below. Then NASA Juno spacecraft arrived, carrying instruments precise enough to finally test the theory. In 2 breathtaking flybys, in December 2023 and February 2024, Juno came within 1,500 kilometers of the surface, closer than any spacecraft in over 20 years. What it measured shouldn't have been possible, given everything researchers thought they understood. Juno tracked the tiny gravitational tug Io exerted on the spacecraft itself as it passed, and the numbers simply didn't match a global magma ocean. If a vast molten layer truly existed just beneath the crust, Juno should have felt the moon flex in one very specific, predictable way. It didn't, somehow. The world everyone assumed was melting from within might not be melting the way anyone imagined at all. So if there is no global sea of fire hiding beneath the surface, what exactly is powering 400 separate volcanoes at once? The deeper the spacecraft looked, the less certain the answer became. This is where the story splits in 2, and even the experts studying the same data don't agree. One team argues the heat is scattered through the interior like a sponge soaked in fire, countless separate pockets of molten rock, each one burning independently. Another team insists the true source lies deeper still, buried in a lower mantle layer no spacecraft has ever been able to directly measure. Then came the moment that deepened the mystery even further. One nobody had predicted. In December 2024, Juno detected an entire chain of volcanoes brightening almost simultaneously, as though something connected them far beneath the surface. Could Io's volcanic engines actually be linked underground, feeding each other through a hidden network we have never once mapped? Nobody knows. Not yet. Even the mountains refuse to make sense here. Steeple Mountain rises up to 18 kilometers, nearly double the height of Everest, with no tectonic plates to explain how. No mountain ranges, no gradual uplift over millions of years, just isolated peaks stabbing straight up out of nowhere alone. Something on Io is forcing solid rock skyward with tremendous violence, and researchers still don't fully understand what that something is. Step back far enough from the science and Io stops being a curiosity. It becomes a warning, a world with no rest, no stillness, no single moment where the violence simply stops. Every 100-meter flex, every collapsing lava lake, every mountain forced violently skyward traces back to one uncomfortable truth. Io is not and has never been in control of its own fate. Jupiter decides. And somewhere inside that thought is something quietly deeply human. How many of us are shaped endlessly by forces larger than ourselves, pulled, stretched, and never quite allowed to settle? Io has been trapped in this exact cycle for billions of years already, and it will remain trapped for billions more to come. Maybe that is the real discovery hiding inside all of this. Not the volcanoes, not the mountains, not even the mystery underneath them. The quiet reminder that survival doesn't always look peaceful from the outside. Somewhere out past the asteroid belt, right now, a small moon is being crushed and reborn in the same breath forever in total silence. No one is there to witness it happen. No one ever will be, not truly. And yet, for a few minutes, you just did. Io doesn't erupt for us. It erupts because out there, it has no other choice left. And maybe that's the most haunting part of all, that somewhere in the dark, unimaginable violence is simply what it means to survive. If this journey into Io's fire and ice pulled something loose in you, let us know what you're still thinking about down below. Every theory you leave behind becomes part of where this channel explores next. Stay close. There are more worlds like this one waiting in the dark, still unnamed, still unexplained. And Mr. Cosmic Zone is only just getting started.